Good evening and welcome to the S.A.F.E Forum 2021. I am Shalini George, Catalyst Fourth Way Foundation, and I will be the MC for this online launch of the S.A.F program. Okay. The Fourth Way Foundation is a non-governmental organization that exists to catalyze social change by innovating and piloting model solutions that governments and implementing agencies can replicate using our technical knowledge, in-depth understanding of challenges, and unique insights gleaned from almost 2 decades of dedicated work. And Project VENDA, an initiative of the Fourth Way Foundation, works effectively to contain and manage the issue of substance abuse among teenagers and young adults by helping them say no to drugs. Project VENDA achieves this end using a range of focused activities and age-appropriate training that disseminate relevant information, psychotherapy, counseling, and so on. Project VENDA has been working in Kochi for the past 6 years. Kochi is often described as a second Punjab in the case of children's drug use habits. And Project VENDA has developed a working module that has been successfully implemented in the high prevalence areas of Kochi. We work with the schools as a center of all our activities, as well as involving various stakeholders within the community. The school-based drug prevention education program is referred to as Substance Abuse-Free Environments. The acronym is S.A.F.E, Safe School Program. And our activities are focused on student awareness education, positive parenting programs, and teachers and staff sensitization. The National Survey on Extent and Pattern of Substance Use in India, provided by the NCB, the Narcotics Controls Bureau's National Action Plan for Drug Demand Reduction, the NAPDAR, identified 272 districts in India vulnerable to and as supply points of narcotics, out of which 6 districts are in Kerala: Thiruvananthapuram, Kollam, Idukki, Ernakulam, Kozhikode, and Malappuram. Project VENDA is today expanding the Safe School Model Program to all the 6 vulnerable districts identified by the National Action Plan for Drug Demand Reduction. Therefore, today is a landmark day for Project VENDA as we scale up our activities and launch our 6 district expansion plan. Once again, welcome one and all, and special thanks to all the participants for being here today for the S.A.F Forum. This forum, it's an annual multi-stakeholder conference hosted by Project VENDA in the month of June in commemoration of International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking. Over the years, this annual forum has been successful in creating roadmaps for substance abuse-free environments through the collective participation of key players from the field of education, health, policy, media, sports, and arts, and by identifying and sharing holistic approaches to solutions that guarantee environments for children to thrive in. This is the 4th in the series, S.A.F Forum 2021. And this forum will serve as a launchpad for the 6th district expansion of S.A.F program in Kerala. This forum will elucidate on the importance of the NAPDAR in the Kerala context. And we have with us today the Honorable Governor of Kerala and other esteemed dignitaries to render their support to Project VENDA. And to formally welcome the very important guest today, I invite Mr. S.A.F.E PR, Vice Chairman, Stark Communications Private Limited. He has been one of Project VENDA's greatest assets, and it has been a privilege to have been in close association with Mr. S.A.F.E PR since 2018. He has guided us and has been part of many of our very important initiatives. Mr. S.A.F.E played a key role in building the Kerala tourism brand from 1994 to 2012, actively partnering the state's journey from a non-entity to India's #1 tourist destination. His tourism campaigns have consistently set benchmarks in the realm of destination marketing in India and have won many national and international awards. Mr. S.A.F.E is also an independent brand consultant. Over to you, sir, for the welcome address.
Thank you, Shalini. the Honorable Governor of Kerala, Sri Arif Mohammed Khan, and distinguished guests. It gives me great joy to welcome a very special group of people today evening. People who genuinely believe that it takes a village to raise a child, pandemic or no pandemic. People who believe that they should take the initiative to create this village, this community for our children. People who have proven that such communities will empower children to say a firm no to drug use and abuse. And most importantly, people who believe in unconditional love and people who are genuinely committed to a healthy future, which is why you are all here today as Project VENDA spreads its safety net for children across 6 additional districts in Kerala. Along with government departments, school managements, teachers, counselors, parents, and the community, we will create systemic interventions that will safeguard children in schools and public spaces in all these districts. The Honorable Governor of Kerala, Sri Arif Mohammed Khan, has been associated with the Fourth Wave Foundation's Project VENDA for over 2 years now. After inaugurating the Asian Regional Forum Against Drugs in 2019, he kept an eye on us and invited us over for a meeting last year to follow up on the progress of our work. And Honorable Governor, we would like to state that in spite of the debilitating pandemic, we stuck to our plan. We fulfilled our mandate for working with children across 6 government departments: education, women and children, health, excise, narcotics, and so on and so forth. We trained 120 counselors, brought out a comprehensive 120-page handbook for them. And today we are about to launch Project Venda's Substance Abuse Free Environment Program, as Shalini said, the S.A.F.E program, as it is called, or as we call it, in 6 additional districts across Kerala. So in a way, this is full circle for us. And we are really, really delighted to have you with us today. Welcome. Many years ago, Diana told me the story of how she decided to shelve Project Venda in 2015 because there was nobody to fund the project. It was at that crucial juncture that Mrs. Kumari Shibulal, co-founder of the Sarojini Damodaran Foundation, and her husband, Mr. Shibulal, came forward to support the project. Mr. Shibulal, as all of you will know, was the CEO, managing director, and one of the co-founders of Infosys. In fact, it is the support of this couple that helped us positively impact over 1 lakh children across the last 6 years. Their commitment to children is quite visible in their ongoing investments in the next generation. Mrs. Kumari, it's an absolute delight to welcome you to this new milestone of Project Venda. 5 years ago, in 2016, when Diana met Wadi Malouf in Vienna, little did she know that he would tell her that the model being used by Project Venda is a very good universal model similar to the UN model. A firm believer in the importance of the family in preventing drug abuse, violence, and crime, Mr. Wadi Malouf is the Global Program Coordinator of the Prevention of Drug Use at the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime. He continues to lend his support for Project Venda, and we are delighted to welcome you, Wadi, to this virtual meeting. A very strong voice of women's rights issues, Mrs. Regina Matson, Secretary General, World Federation Against Drugs, works with 250 member organizations in the global debate on drug policy. Across the years, Regina has been a great source of strength and inspiration for the Project Venda team. We are really delighted that you could join us today, Regina. Welcome. I would also like to formally welcome 2 board members of Project Venda. Vasanthi Srinivasan has been with the Fourth Wave Foundation since its inception 15 years ago in 2006. Chairperson of the Center for Corporate Governance and Citizenship at the Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore, Vasanthi is also an associate professor in organizational behavior and human resource management. She has been on the board of the Fourth Wave Foundation since its inception. In fact, she helped pound the foundation into shape in its formative years and continues to be the North Star that we rely on through thick and thin. Welcome, Vasanthi. Great to have you with us today. Mr. C. Balagopal is many things rolled into one. A former bureaucrat and highly successful entrepreneur, He today is a writer, mentor, a promoter of startups, and also an independent director of Federal Bank. His journey with the Fourth Wave Foundation started a year ago, and in this short period of time, his thought leadership has contributed substantially to the foundation. Welcome, Balagopal. As always, it's great to have you with us. I would also like to welcome all the other guests, parents, teachers, counselors, other well-wishers, and the entire Project VENDA team who are here with us today. Thank you.
Thank you, Swarup. Chairperson, Center for Corporate Governance and Citizenship at Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore, Vasanthi Srinivasan is a professor of organizational behavior and human resource management. Vasanthi, I call upon you for the address.
Thank you, Shalvi. Okay. His Excellency Shri Arif Mohammad Khan, Honorable Governor of Kerala, Ms. Kumari Shibulal, patron of Project VENDA, my board members and well-wishers of Project VENDA and the Fourth Wave Foundation. It's indeed an honor for Fourth Wave Foundation to welcome you all to the S.A.F.E program launch in 6 districts under Project VENDA. It's particularly significant that we were able to do this launch on the International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking. It's even more important that we have these projects running in the most difficult districts, primarily because all of us recognize that the future of our country lies in its children. Why our country, the future of the world, lies in its children. In some ways, I want to take a few minutes to set the larger context against which this project VENDA is located within the Fourth Wave Foundation. Beyond what Shalini mentioned, which was about being able to pilot innovative ideas, it's also about transforming the most vulnerable and yet the most significant stakeholders for the globe. The UN Convention on Rights of Child has been ratified by 196 countries. What is the beauty about this Convention on Rights of the Child is that it recognizes children as distinctly different entities from adults. And this focus is extremely important for all stakeholders in the system because it brings our attention from a rights perspective to children. India is a signatory to all the 3 UN conventions pertaining to narcotic drugs and psychotropic substances. We all recognize that the policy framework that India is a part of is very progressive. It is in the implementation that many of us need to come together as partners to be able to transform our vision into reality. The Convention on Rights of the Child places obligations in several ways for prevention of abuse, early identification, treatment, care, rehabilitation, and beyond that, promotion and training of people in these various areas. In particular, I want to call out today to Article 33 of the UN Convention on Rights of the Child, which places responsibility on the state to look out for children from illicit use of narcotic drugs and also to prevent the use of children in the illicit production and trafficking. And this program is intended to examine models, frameworks, ways of working based on our experiences that can allow us to scale. I do believe that this project, whatever gets developed as resources, material, and models will actually provide the bedrock for us to be able to look at it in the context of scaling up for India. I cannot but reflect on Nelson Mandela's very powerful quote, where he spoke about there can be no keener revelation of a society's soul than the way in which it treats its children. And as we launch this program today, we need as a society to reclaim the soul for our children with a substance abuse free environment, with multiple stakeholders and partners coming together. I cannot thank you, sir, the Honorable Governor, for your personal commitment to the cause and support to Project VENDA. I watched you during the 2019 Asia Regional Forum, extending your commitment to us. I do believe that, as Swaroop said, we will be able to live up to your commitment, and the 6 districts that we hope to scale will actually help us to consolidate and build new ways of thinking about this issue. Last but not the least, over the years, I have found that what makes Fourth Wave Foundation different is the fact that we have hundreds and thousands of well-wishers and friends. It's these well-wishers, friends, and partners who are with us today as we walk this call on taking on a much larger purpose, which is really pushing the agenda of the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child. And this is but a starting point in that journey. Thank you once again to everyone for the support. And over to you, Shalini.
Thank you, Professor Vasanthi. Founder of Shubhalal Family Philanthropic Initiatives, which was established in 1999 to transform the lives of the underprivileged in the society. We have with us Srimati Kumari Shubhalal, a patron of Project VENDA. I invite you, ma'am, for the presidential address.
Thank you, Shalini. Honorable Governor of Kerala, Sri Arif Muhammad Khan, esteemed guests, and the team at Fourth Wave Foundation, a very good evening to all of you. I feel singularly privileged to talk to all of you in such august company. I have been associated with Project VENDA by the Fourth Wave Foundation from its inception. I am witness to their commitment to this very noble cause. The foundation employs a range of initiatives that touch the lives of children in multiple ways. They range from learning rooms to playgrounds and homes to neighborhoods. It is a matter of great pride to me that Project VENDA has been lauded and recommended by the UN for following the best practices in the fight against substance abuse. I congratulate you on the launch of Project VENDA, moving into 6 vulnerable districts of Kerala, listed under India's National Action Plan for Drug Demand Reduction. The Project VENDA leadership team have tremendous experience in successfully fighting many social causes, such as inclusive education for the differently abled, women empowerment, and equality. Their work against substance abuse has been stellar and widely recognized. VENDA is the only program from India that has been invited to make a presentation at the UN 3 years in a row, from 2018 to 2020. The epidemic of substance abuse in young generation has assumed alarming dimensions in India. Of the 272 districts in India, that have been identified as vulnerable, 6 districts are in Kerala. That is practically half of Kerala. This is a warning to us regarding the extent of substance abuse in Kerala. Changing cultural values, increasing economic stress, and dwindling supportive bonds are causing more young people towards substance use. Cannabis, heroin, and Indian-produced pharmaceutical drugs are the most frequently abused drugs in India. Drug use, misuse, or abuse happens for many reasons. Nature of the drug abused, the personality of the individual, and the addict's immediate environment plays a part. Industrialization, urbanization, and migration have weakened traditional methods of social control. Young people today are more than ever vulnerable to the stresses and strains of modern life. For many, drug addiction starts with experimental use of a recreational drug in social situations and becoming a habit over time. In order to create substance abuse-free environment, all stakeholders have to get involved. Parents, teachers, schools, colleges, lawmakers, police, and the government. Project VENDA's success lies in bringing together all stakeholders and having a multi-pronged approach. It is heartening to see the presence of all the officials from the vulnerable districts are here today. I'm sure your time and attention will go a long way in making Kerala free of this menace. It is apt that this project is being launched on International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking. The first International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking was observed by the UN General Assembly on June 26, 1987. Since then, every year, this day marks the coherent and seamless global cooperation to achieve a drug-free society. India has taken early and decisive steps to address drug problems. Government has an encompassing blueprint, committed workforce, and several dedicated programs and policies at its disposal. At the same time, there is an urgent need to improve the current programs and have a coordinated effort between ministries bringing uniformity at the policy level. This will allow us to make scientifically informed choices and strengthen our supply reduction initiatives. The identification of vulnerable districts by the National Survey on Extent and Pattern of Substance Use in India is a step in the right direction. I'm confident that India as a nation and Kerala in particular will win its war over substance abuse. Once again, I would like to thank Diana and the team at VENDA for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Srimati Kumari Shivala. We now come to the most important part of the program this evening, the inauguration of the 6th district expansion of the Safe School program. We have with us our esteemed guest, the Honorable Governor of Kerala, Sri A.F.E Mohammed, to preside over the inauguration. I welcome you, Your Honorable Governor of Kerala, Sri A.F.E Mohammed Khan, to address the audience.
Sharmiji, for your kind words, Madam President Kumari Shibulalji, Patron Project VENDA, Professor Vasanti Srinivasanji, Board of Director, 4th Wave Foundation, Shri Sarup B.R., Board Director, Shri C.C. Joseph, very distinguished guests who are attending this conference, Priyapeta Suhirtukile, Ellavarkum Ente Namaskaram. I am delighted to launch Substance Abuse Free Environment Program in 6 districts of Kerala as part of the VENDA initiative of 4th Wave Foundation. First of all, I would like to compliment 4th Wave Foundation for befittingly observing the International Day against drug abuse and illicit trafficking by drawing public attention to the need to control substance abuse in our state. The assertion VENDA conveys a firm no to drugs. However, along with the organizers and volunteers, let me pass on a simple but important message to our audience, especially the youth and school children. Jeevitam akate nammude lahari, vere lahari, vende venda. Let us be addicted to life. Say no to every other addiction. I compliment the dedicated volunteers of this foundation who have been focusing on the key areas of education, empowerment, ethics, and inclusion to create a culture of socially responsive communities that work together to build a better tomorrow. I find something futuristic about the concept of the 4th Wave Foundation, which takes forward the wave theory of 20th century American writer Alvin Toffler, who marked history as different waves, such as agriculture, industry, knowledge, or information. It is quite thoughtful of this foundation to have foreseen and worked on an emerging 4th wave, which would help mankind to use all the other 3 waves more responsibly. I would say that our emphasis has to be on responsible use of anything, including medical drugs. The sense of responsibility was emphasized in our ancient Ayurvedic text like Charak Samhita, which opines that alcohol by nature, that is in composition and in giving energy, is like food. When used inappropriately, it brings disease, and when used appropriately, is like nectar. Kintu madhyam स्वभावेन यथे वान्नम तथा स्मृतम ayukti yuktam rogaye yukti yuktam yatha amritam. But all over the world, when it comes to drugs, the emphasis is unfortunately more on misuse rather than judicious use, and no wonder the entire world is struggling to save the present and future generations from the wrong use of drugs, which we call substance abuse. Project VENDA and S.A.F.E program, therefore, are sincere efforts to save Kerala from the possible future shock of the rising trend in substance abuse among the youth and children. Substance abuse is undoubtedly a global threat to humanity through which a labyrinthine network illegally makes dangerous drugs available to people for reckless use. As per the United Nations Global Drug Report of last year, around 269 million people were using drugs worldwide in 2018, which was 30% more than in 2009. More significantly, over 35 million people suffered from health disorders due to drug abuse. Having noted the trend of drug abuse quite earlier, the UN General Assembly had decided in 1987 to observe 26 June as the International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking as an expression of its determination to help create an international society free of drug abuse. We in India also face a severe threat from alcohol and substance abuse, since India is home to 6 crore alcohol addicts, which is more than the population of many countries. More than 3.1 crore people in our country, that is 2.8% of the population, have reported using cannabis products. Unfortunately, only 1 in 20 drug addicts get treatment at a hospital, and less than 3% of the people who require treatment against alcoholism get any treatment due to various reasons, including social taboo, reluctance, lack of awareness, and other factors. The use of injection drugs is known to be the leading risk factor for new human immunodeficiency virus infections, and the increase in TB rates among drug users is also a matter of grave concern. All these had prompted the Union Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment to implement the Nasha Mukti Bharat Action Plan 2021. Nasha Mukti Bharat focuses on treatment through the health departments, outreach and creation of awareness by the Social Justice Department, and timely interventions by Narcotics Bureau. Our assumption is that such action plans can be implemented with good results in Kerala, which has a commendable record of literacy, awareness, and standards of public health. Yet Kerala is known to be one of the states with the highest per capita consumption of alcohol in the country. What is worrying is there has also been a 78% increase in drugs and narcotics related crimes since 2014, and the rate of suicides also has been high in our state. Added to this is a recent report that in Kerala, almost 70% of school children could be vulnerable to narcotics abuse. Quite recently, the National Survey on the Extent and pattern of substance use in India provided by Narcotics Control Bureau has included, as you have already pointed out, 6 districts from Kerala from among the 272 districts which were identified as vulnerable. Our present endeavor, which will be carried out in Thiruvananthapuram, Kollam, Idukki, Ernakulam, Kozhikode, and Malappuram districts, is also inspired by the Nasha Mukti Bharat campaign and the National Action Plan for Drug Demand Reduction. Narcotics is a silent enemy with a destructive power beyond our imagination. Those who pass these dangerous drugs to our children are more active and scheming than we can imagine, and therefore freeing our children from the clutches of addiction has to be taken as a collective responsibility. What we need is constant vigil on the part of school authorities and parents in detecting even the slightest trace of inclination towards substance abuse among youngsters. We also need to revisit the way we look at addiction by adding a touch of understanding and compassion. Our general tendency is to ignore an addicted person as someone who cannot be brought back to normal life. In fact, the sight of an addicted youth should instill in us the commitment to fight this menace jointly together. Recently, it was known that government of Kerala had spent over 37 crore rupees for running 14 de-addiction centers, which had catered to over 41,000 people. We need to expand the network and service of such centers in Kerala. I understand that S.A.F.E program would use a multi-pronged strategy that seeks to create awareness through school-level counselors, student peer groups, and various media, including social media. One of the ways of arresting the increasing trend of substance abuse is by ensuring that the education curriculum includes chapters on drug addiction, its impact, and also on de-addiction. The legal implications also need to be conveyed effectively through the school syllabus. I am happy to know that the Social Security Mission and Social Justice Department are planning to hold awareness sessions by utilizing the services of trained master volunteers and gender resource persons. Such facility for proper counseling is needed in every panchayat in the state so that this service is ensured in educational institutions and among parents. I sincerely hope that the project VENDA and S.A.F.E program would help our schools and other institutions to ensure a drug-free environment. My best wishes for the success of these endeavors of Fourth Wave Foundation, which are in every way dedicated towards making a healthier, stronger, and happier India. And finally, again, my thanks to the foundation and Ms. Diana for the invite, and sharing my thoughts on this important subject, and more importantly, giving the opportunity to listen to some of the best expert opinions here in this forum. Thank you very much. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Valre nanni. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Honorable Governor of Kerala, Sri Arif Muhammad Khan. We are indeed grateful for the time you have spent with us this evening. Your commitment to the cause has been unwavering. Your presence here is a great encouragement for our work in the 6 districts. Thank you. Before we conclude the online inauguration of the S.A.F.E program's 6th district launch, I invite Mr. C.C. Joseph, Director, 4th Way Foundation, to give the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Shalini. His Excellency, the Governor of Kerala, Sri Arif Muhammad Khan, and other dignitaries who have joined us, and my dear co-workers in the field of keeping people away from drugs. It's an honor to express a few words of gratitude. Let me begin by thanking His Excellency for accepting our invitation and launching Project VENDA's Safe School program in 6 districts. We know this cause is close to your heart, and like you rightly said, collective responsibility is what is needed to keep our children safe. Let me share one personal experience that was after the S.A.F.E conference a couple of years back, when His Excellency had come to Kochi for a meeting. He made it a point to call Diana and me and spend some time with us. And one few words remain in my ears and one keep ringing, where he assured us that I am with you. That was a great honor for Diana and me to spend those personal moments with Your Excellency. Thank you, Your Excellency, for your support and encouragement. Secondly, I wish to thank Mrs. Kumari Shivulal. Ma'am, thank you for trusting us and supporting us. What I fondly remember about Kumari ma'am is her words of encouragement and suggestions during our regular meetings, which are very practical and important. I would like to express our gratitude to Professor Vasanthi Srinivasan. Vasantiji, you have been with us since the inception, and words will never be enough to express our gratitude. Vasantiji is such a bundle of joy and enthusiasm, and you always keep us glued to the vision of 4th Way Foundation. Mr. Swaroop BR, you have been a constant guide to us and help us in the right direction and decisions. Your focus and clarity of thought really inspires us. Your unwavering support keeps us and our spirits up. Thank you. Finally, I want to thank you all, especially those who have gathered here, and especially want to mention Ernst & Young EY for supporting us, especially the District of Trivandrum, and Don Bosco, who would be the partners of SAFE program in the 6 districts. Usually when an organization expands, it's a time of celebration and joy. But at Project VENDA, we are not very happy because we should not be expanding. The problem should not be this big. So this is not a time for celebration. But with all those who have gathered here at VENDA, we always say, നമ്മുടെ പിള്ളേരെ തൊട്ട് കളിക്കാൻ നമ്മൾ സമ്മതിക്കുകയല്ല. We will not let you play with the children of Kerala. And that is the promise we make. And with the head of state supporting us, with the head of state joining us, I think we will be able to carry this forward. And in a few years, we would come together to celebrate the closing of all these programs in all over Kerala, because the problem would have been solved. Thank you, especially Your Excellency and all those who have joined to support us and encourage us during this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. C.C. Joseph. Now we look forward to having an interesting discussion on the issues at hand and practical solution to this very pertinent problem. Before we go to that, I would like to introduce 2 internationally renowned personalities who have done great work to curb the menace of narcotic abuse worldwide. Ms. Regina Mattsson, Secretary General, World Federation Against Drugs, Sweden, and Mr. Wadi Malouf of United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, Vienna. Both Mr. Wadi and Regina Mattsson work closely with Project VENDA, transferring knowledge and guiding 4th Way Foundation with important inputs when it comes to formulating strategies to curb this issue. Since both of them could not be with us live, they have sent us video recordings giving us a global perspective and felicitating Fourth Way Foundation on this day. A preview of their messages was played as an introduction this evening, and it will be telecasted fully on our YouTube channel, and the link for which will be posted on the chat box. So if any one of you is interested in listening to the entire message, please click on the link. We have with us Father Ruben Pandakal, Executive Director of BREDS. BREDS is Bangalore Rural Educational Development Society. It is a development organization of Salesian province of Bangalore that assists and promotes the development of activities of NGOs, particularly the Don Bosco partners in Karnataka and Kerala. BREDS program will be Project VENDA's regional partner, as Mr. CC had already mentioned, and Father Ruben has long-standing experience in the development sector from grassroots level work to NGO management. I now invite Father Ruben to speak a few words about the work at hand.
Thank you, Shalini. Honorable Governor of Kerala, S.A.F.E Mohammed Khan, respected dignitaries, policy makers, philanthropists, and social workers. Addressing this august gathering today, as the Executive Director of BREDS, I am really privileged to share with you my experience and my feelings this evening. BREDS has been on the forefront of the efforts geared towards protection and promotion of child rights and youth development in Karnataka and Kerala, joining hands today with another credible organization, Fourth Way Foundation. I thank everyone at the Fourth Way Foundation for this wonderful collaboration. Let us all hope that this partnership will blossom and produce wonderful results, leading to positive changes in the society of Kerala, with young people and teenagers in particular becoming first beneficiaries. Dear friends, together we are on a mission, on a challenging and uphill task. In the year 2008, the number of drug abuse related cases reported in Kerala was just 508. In 2017, in a matter of less than a decade, the number of cases shot up to 9,242. According to a 2019 report on the Union Ministry of Social Justice, Trivandrum, Ernakulam, and Kozhikode are among the most vulnerable cities in India with regard to drug abuse. Just an year ago, the Excise Commissioner of Kerala, Rishraj Singh, pointed out that nearly 70% of school children in the state of Kerala are vulnerable to narcotics abuse. The drug suppliers seem to be taking full advantage of COVID-related travel restrictions by making use of courier and parcel services to supply drugs in a wide variety of ways and means. With the growth of internet and encrypted communication technologies, the drug smugglers and peddlers are constantly causing new headaches to the law enforcing departments. The academic studies, the social economic realities, the crime statistics all point to the rampant increase in drug abuse among teenagers and youth in the state of Kerala. We cannot be silent spectators when our young people are deceitfully pushed into drug use by vested interests. We cannot be silent when we see highly promising youngsters running their life and career. They have fallen prey to trap the drugs. It is my firm assurance that Don Bosco BREDS, in collaboration with Fourth Way Foundation, will start intervening in this issue and will emerge as a very strong counter force. As of now, This project is going to be implemented in 6 districts, but it is certainly going to spread. It will spread to every district in Kerala. We are here not to play a one-day match. We are here to be preparing for a long innings. We have to network, we have to collaborate, but it's all worth. It will reach out with its message to lakhs of youngsters and teenagers. It will touch them and change them. We will not rest until we have triumphed over our enemy, the killing drugs. We will not rest until we are sure that every youngster and teenager in our society is safe from the clutches of malicious octopus. Together, let us make this world a better place. Together, let us make God's own land drug-free land. Thank you.
Shalini, your
Thank you, Father Rubin. We have with us today Mr. Mukul Pachasya, Global Operations Leader and Chief Operating Officer for Global Delivery Services at Ernst & Young, a role to which he was named in 2020. I deeply apologize, sir. I just we apologize late, and especially want to speak about Ernst & Young team in Trivandrum. This is a very progressive organization that has understood the relevance of partnering with SAFE program. It is indeed commendable that the proactive EY team is coming forward to hold hands with Project VENDA to create a safe environment for the children. I invite you, sir, Mr. Mukul Pachasya, to speak a few words at district park.
Thank you, Shalini. Hopefully you can hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you. Honorable Governor Shri A.S.F. Khan, respected members from the 4th Wave Foundation, and all other esteemed guests, a very good evening to all of you. I feel fortunate to be here amongst all of you at the launch of Project VENDA's SAFE program in 6 additional districts of Kerala today, on this occasion of the International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking. There is worldwide consensus that drug abuse is on the rise, and India is no exception. And as we have been hearing from the speakers earlier on, there is an increasing use of drugs and abusive substances amongst the children in Kerala. And hence the launch of this project is very, very important to reverse the trend that we have otherwise noticed in the past few years. It is EY's privilege to partner with 4th Wave Foundation on Project VENDA. As an organization, EY has always been at the forefront of supporting communities. Our ambition is to positively impact 1 billion lives by 2030. And we are doing this through various initiatives under EY Ripples, which is our corporate responsibility program. One of the pillars of our program is supporting the next generation. By partnering with 4th Wave Foundation on Project VENDA, we look forward to taking steps towards transforming a young person's future. By empowering children to say no to drugs, help them become work ready or develop the right mindset to channelize their energies towards growth and development. For Project VENDA, our partnership with the 4th Wave Foundation includes a student education and empowerment program that aims to target over 2.5 lakhs children in around 550 government schools in Trivandrum in the next 5 years. In the first year itself, our aim would be to cover 80,000 students in 160 schools. Project VENDA's SAFE program for teen and young adults is a live model that showcases prevention in an educational dimension. We all know that the youth of our country are the future. It is our responsibility to provide a healthy and safe environment for them to grow and thrive in. The work done by 4th Wave Foundation to address the increasing problem of narcotics and drug abuse among children and students is phenomenal, and I must commend them on that. We are very, very happy to partner with them and cannot wait to get started on this journey. Apart from this collaboration through the EY GDS Corporate Responsibility Program, EY volunteers have also contributed immensely in developing the skill ecosystem in Kerala by collaborating with government institutions like Kerala Startup Mission, ICT Academy of Kerala, and the additional skill acquisition program on industry relevant skilling initiatives and making a meaningful impact in the community. Once again, congratulations to the team for the work done so far and wish you the very, very best as we move forward. Together, we can tackle the world drug problem. Thank you very much for inviting me here today. And again, wish you the very best.
Thank you, Mr. Muktasya.